Imagine you're at a big family dinner, and you're sitting at the far end of the table. You need the salt, but instead of just grabbing it, you have to ask every person to pass it down to you. It takes forever. That's kind of what happens when you pass props down through multiple components in React. Every component has to pass the salt, even if it doesn't need to. Now, wouldn't it be awesome if you could just call out, "Hey, can someone pass the salt?" And boom, it appears in front of you? That's exactly what useContext does. It lets you access shared data from anywhere in your component tree without passing it down through every single component. With useContext, your data lives in one place, and any component that needs it can just grab it. No need to bother anyone else. It's the easy, direct way to share a state in React, like having a magical link to your data, available whenever and wherever you need it. In 2018, React added the Context API to help with the annoying issue of prop drilling. This feature allows developers to create a shared data that any component can reach. The catch? You had to wrestle with render props and higher order components, wrapping everything in context consumer, or stacking HOCs like a Jenga tower, making your code base look like a maze. But now, fast forward to 2019, and React hooks came in like a hero with the useContext hook. Suddenly, accessing context values was as easy as calling a function inside your component. No more complicated setups, no more prop juggling. It was a game changer. So, how does useContext work? Think of it like a magic portal that sends data to any component in your app without needing to pass it through every layer. To create this portal, you use createContext and store it in a variable. This portal can hold any data you want to share. To open the portal, you need to use the context provider, include all the components that can access the portal, and load it with the items you want to send, which in our case are the food and drink items. Now, here's the cool part. To use the portal in any component, you can access it using the useContext hook. Just pass in the portal we created with createContext to useContext, and then extract the data from item portal. Of course, we can do the same in the dining room component, where we can access the data from the portal without needing to pass it through via props. It's that easy. If you're still confused about useContext, let's make a simpler example. Inside our folder, we have 4 components named Component 1, Component 2, Component 3, and Component 4. In our app, we place Component 1 inside, and inside Component 1, we place Component 2. Inside Component 2, we place Component 3, and finally, inside Component 3, we place Component 4. Now, inside the app, we create a state called name with the value of novadesigns. So first, we want to display the name inside Component 1. Usually, we would use props to pass the state value into the component. Inside Component 1, we can then access the name state. But what if we also wanted to display the name in Component 4? Usually, to access the name state from the app in Component 4, we would need to pass the name state through Component 1, then Component 2, then Component 3, and finally, Component 4. This is what we call prop drilling, where we are required to pass props through multiple levels of components to access them. But thanks to the useContext hook, we no longer need to do prop drilling. We just need to create a createContext, which acts as a portal, and we also need to name our portal, so we'll place it in a variable. Next, we use the provider component that comes with the context to wrap the components that need access to this shared value. By doing this, any component inside the provider can access the value without needing to pass it through props at every level. It acts as a key to the portal where we can store all the data that we want the portal to hold on to. And finally, to get the name in Component 4, we use the useContext hook. This hook allows us to open the portal that we created using createContext. We simply pass the name of our portal and place it inside a variable, and then we can access the data from that portal. Ta-da! This way, we eliminate prop drilling, making the code more concise and maintainable, especially in applications with deeply nested components. So, to create a portal, we use the createContext function. And to make that portal available throughout all our components, we wrap the components with the provider component. We then place the data inside the provider. Then to open the portal, we use the useContext hook. We pass the name of the portal we want to use to useContext, store the result in a variable, and then use that variable in the component. It's really simple and straightforward once we think of useContext as a portal, right? We can appreciate the benefits of using the useContext hook when managing multiple states with hooks like useState. For instance, imagine we have an e-commerce dashboard where we need to pass user information, theme settings, and shopping cart state through multiple nested components. The component tree would look something like this. Inside the app component, we have the dashboard, and then within the dashboard, there are 3 components: header, content, and sidebar. And last, inside the sidebar, we have the cart summary. Inside the app component, we would create 3 states: the user state, the dark mode state, and the cart state. Then we render the dashboard component and pass each state as a prop. Then inside the dashboard, we also need to pass the state to the header and content components. And that means we would also need to create multiple props for each component. And then inside the sidebar, we also need to pass the prop and cart summary, which will display the cart state. It's so troublesome and complicated to maintain, right? Wouldn't it be better to just pass the state directly to the components that need it? Well, let's see how useContext can make this process simpler, cleaner, and more maintainable for handling multiple state props. Let's go back to the previous code for the app and remove the props in the dashboard. Then create 3 contexts for each state: user context, theme context, and cart context using createContext. Next, wrap the dashboard with each context and use a provider to store the state values so that we can access them later on. Now that we set up the context, we can easily access the specific state we needed. For example, previously, to get the state for the cart into cart summary, we had to pass it through the dashboard, then the sidebar, and finally, to cart summary. But with cart context, we can simply access the context using useContext, store it in a variable, and use it directly in cart summary. The same applies to user context and theme context and other components, like the header and content. Isn't it much better and cleaner after using the useContext hook, right? So all in all, useContext is like a special pass for your state. You don't have to keep passing props at every level anymore. useContext makes it easy to share information like user details, themes, or login status between different parts of your app. And the best part, it works well with other hooks like useReducer, so you can make a central place to store your state. It's like a more relaxed version of Redux. But that's not all. With dynamic context values, your components can quickly respond to changes, making everything smooth and easy. You can give your context a nice name like myContext, which makes it easy to find when you're fixing problems in React DevTools. Oh, and if you like flexibility, nested contexts are really helpful for you. They help you stay organized by putting different things like the look of the app and user login into separate tidy sections. This way, you can easily manage and update individual pieces of state without affecting other parts of the application. For example, the theme context only handles theme changes, while the user context is dedicated to managing authentication. This separation of concerns makes your app much easier to maintain and extend as it grows. And I know we discussed a lot of concepts today, which is why we created a PDF version of this video. It's free, but we would really appreciate it if you supported our channel. This was just part 3 of mastering React hooks in the easy way. We'll still cover useref, useMemo, useCallback, and more in future videos. So subscribe to stay tuned for that. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for watching.